Hello everyone, it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am back with day 15 of our Scrap September series, and today's prompt is 3 images. So as you can see here, I'm using 3 photos of my nephew, and I think they're cute, lot of photos, but they're all of the same thing really. He's carrying around my mother's, so his grandmother's handbag. It was very cute. So I am scrapping these 3 photos, and I'm actually using a Kitaholic kits from January of this year. I took a month off sort of scrapping in January to write my thesis for my masters, and so I had this kit laying around that hadn't opened yet, and I decided that I would crack into it. So this is January Kitaholic kits. So I think a lot of this collection was from Craft actually, and I can't think of the collection, but a big chunk of it, I think all the papers are Craft, and then there's a Craft ephemera pack, and then there's a whole lot of other awesome bits and pieces. So I'm just working out how to back my photos, and I actually decide I want to cut my photos down to 3x3 squares. So I'm just doing that now. I think for me anyway, we're going to sit a bit nicer on the page. Even though the photos were printed 3x4 anyway, and the way I took them on my mobile phone, my nephew was sort of quite small in the photos, so there was heaps of kind of space to chop them down. I didn't want all that kind of wasted nothingness around him, so yeah, I've chopped them down, and you can see here I'm just backing the photos again using the kind of opposite side of the piece of pattern paper that I stuck down onto the page, and yeah, that's all I'm doing. There's not much else to say. I'm just backing the photos. This layout again was pretty quick to come together actually, which was good. I kind of had an idea in my head about what I wanted to do, and if you've been following our channel for a long time, this page is certainly, you know, nothing new and different for me. I regularly, you know, cover more than half my page in pattern paper and then kind of embellish and set the photo sort of around the join of the pattern paper, and that is exactly what I'm doing here. So I know that it's probably no different style to what I normally do, but I love it, and so I like the way it looks, and I'm going to keep doing it until I think of something else that I like. So I'm just figuring out which way I want the photos to be arranged, and I decide there's only one photo of my nephew kind of looking up, and he's got a big funny grin on his face, so I sort of wanted that one to be in the middle. So in the kits for January there was some silver doilies. Normally we get a lot of gold. It's not often we get silver kind of accents, but there was some silver doilies, so I've grabbed a big one of those, and there was 2 really small kind of tealy, aquary, I don't really know the difference between those 2 colours, doilies, and so I've stuck them both down on the page as well. And now I'm going to stick down 2 of the photos kind of straight onto the page, and I'm going to pop one up with foam dots. So I'm just sort of doing that, and then I realised after I've stuck them down with foam dots that I actually wanted to come back and put something else underneath it. But that's okay. The good thing about these dimensionals from Stampin' Up is they can pull back up. I mean, they leave a mark, so I knew that I was going to put something straight underneath, so it didn't matter to me that I'd left a mark, but you can pull them up without sort of completely ripping your paper. So as you can see there, it does leave a mark, but that's okay. I covered it anyway, and this sort of frame was from the cut apart sheets in the kit, so the exclusive cut aparts, and I didn't cut the middle out of the frame because I actually knew that I wanted to use it for something like what I just used it for, so I didn't need to cut the middle out. So just going through the ephemera, pulling out the bits that I sort of think kind of go with this layout. The piece I've pulled out to the left actually has a phrase that says, "This made me smile," and I thought that was quite apt, and I really wanted to include that. And then the other banner I pulled out says, "Be beautiful," so be beautiful, beautiful. And then I pulled out some of the cut aparts as well. Quite a few bits I pulled out. They don't all make it onto the layout, but I did just pull out kind of a selection of things that I thought might work. When I was cutting apart the cut aparts, I knew there was a couple of maybe some of the words that I wanted to use, in particular one that says so darn cute. And there were also some flare that came in the kits this month, and I pulled those out as well as the sequins. I did pull out the resin flowers, but they don't end up making it on the layout. And then I thought, oh well, I might use some of this sort of silver washi, and because I'd stuck everything down too well, I found it a little bit hard to find somewhere to sort of slide the washi, so I just added it in 2 places. It's very sparkly washi, very, very sparkly. It's quite cute actually. In the end, you really can't see the silver doily, like actually at all. I think I completely covered it, so that was a bit of a waste, but that's alright. These things happen in the creative process. The bit of flare that I put up in the top right says enjoy the little things, yeah, which I thought was cute. And that one that I just touched on the left hand side says young, wild and free. And now I'm going to work on my title. So I tossed up a few ideas. I edited out some of this because it took me a really long time. I was going to do I feel pretty, and then I changed it to so pretty. And so yeah, that's the title that I end up going with. I did look in the kind of chipboard stickers, is that what you call them? Chipboard pieces? Chipboard stickers that came in the kit, but there was nothing that I really wanted to use, so I stuck with So Pretty using the thickers that came in the kit, which are these white ones, and I love them. They're one of my favourites. I actually have like 2 other sets, although they're pretty much all used now. So I was just working out how to stick down the flare. I find it a bit difficult sometimes to stick flare down because you can't really use glue because they're kind of not flat on the back, so I had to put a couple of dimensionals in to attach those. And now I'm just kind of putting a few other bits of ephemera around. That was a little word or phrase sticker that says so darn cute. And I decided I wanted to put this other cut apart piece. It's sort of in a floral pattern similar to the main big navy floral pattern in the sort of top right there underneath the flare badge. And now I'm just creating a tiny little cluster down the bottom, just using a couple of the cut aparts and some ephemera pieces, and just sort of creating, yeah, just a little cluster. And I really wanted to use that beautiful word because I just thought that was kind of appropriate while my nephew is still happy dressing up and playing around and having a laugh at himself. You know, I want to encourage that for his entire life, that he can be whoever he wants. So that's that cluster done, and I think I'm definitely nearing the end. I do add instead of enamel dots or rhinestones, I add some of these sequins. They're blue sequins, and so I add 3 clusters of 3. Because everyone always, you know, in the Scrappy world is like 3 is the best number. You should do everything in 3. I don't really know why. Is that just because odd numbers look better to the eye? Is there a design, you know, a design reason behind that? Or do we all just do it because everybody else does? I think I'm a little bit in the last column. Because, you know, everyone I watch does things in 3s and I feel like that's what I should do. Anyway, I digress. I'm just going to cover up the photos so I can do some misting, and I'm going to use my Heidi Swap Colour Shine in navy. It's one of my favourites. I think I like the navy more than the gold actually, so I would have to say the navy is my favourite. And that is the end of the layout. So I'm going to show you some close-ups now, but we are done. I hope you're enjoying our series. We're loving putting it together. We've really enjoyed kind of scrapping so much and having a video up every day. It's been nice for us. So please like, comment and subscribe because we love interacting with you and we really appreciate all your support. And we will see you in tomorrow's video. Alright guys, have a great day. Bye!